Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Loop Learnings, and this is the next video in the series. We are making a clinic management system. If you are a new visitor to my channel, welcome. If you're returning back, welcome back. And in this video, we will continue with the user interface. We have created many forms. I will just expand this navigation pane so you can see that a lot of forms has been created. Now, currently, I would like to work on the visit form. So in the last two videos, we prepared the skeleton of this visit form, prescription form, and now I would like to proceed and actually work on modifying hooking up with the VBA so we can make it more functional form. Right now, I click anywhere, nothing happens, and it doesn't do anything. So let's get started. And with the passage of time, I'm going to explain passage of this video. I'm going to explain what exactly we are going to do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mechanism on if we click here, then this form should appear, visit form. So this is the form that we worked on in the previous video, two videos. So if you haven't watched, you should watch because I've done a bit of work on these two forms. All right. So I want this form to open, and this form should be opening as a blank, as if you are going to create a new visit. So that's what first I'm going to do. So let's go to design view, and it's very quick and easy. I just spotted this, so I'll align this towards left as well. So just click on this button. I'll go to the event tab, dot on click event, code builder. Now I don't have my mouse with me right now, so please bear with me for if because with mouse my productivity efficiency increases. Anyway, so we, as I said, we'll have one line of code. So that would be to cmd.open form, and the form name is visit form. All right. And we'll have comma, and we want to open it as a normal form and no filter. Actually, there's nothing required except this. All right. So AC form add, because we want to create a new record. So that's where AC form add will work, that it will open the form in the blank mode. Okay. So there is a error. We don't need to worry about it. We'll come back to this later because this error belongs to other form, not to this form. So if I'll click on form view and I click on this button, create visit, and there you go. That's what I was looking for. Now that is done. Now, what do I need to do? What do we need to do with this form, particularly this visit form? Now, I've decided to keep this form as a bound form, which is, bound with the data, with the table. And therefore, we actually don't need these two buttons to create a record for visit and mark inactive or update whatsoever, because this form is linked with the data. So essentially, anything that we will do here, it will be automatically stored in the database. Therefore, these buttons are not required for this particular reason, but we will use this button for some other purposes, which we will do it later on in later videos. Now, what I'm looking for a mechanism through which we can actually create, change the status. Now the status is something that is very important, and then there is a timestamp that is also very crucial, which I will demonstrate in the next video for sure. But for now, we'll stick to what we have got right here in front of us. So what I would like to do is I would like to um, have a couple of statuses. For example, when a visit form a when a new visit is created, we will call it literally new. For example, we'll have a button here or something that we will press, which will indicate that the patient has arrived. So we will capture the date and time when the patient is arrived at the clinic. And then when we somebody creates a prescription or creates a treatment record or assign a doctor, we want to capture all of that into these statuses. So for example, prescription created, treatment recommended, a doctor assigned. So I want these kind of statuses. So we need to think about how are we going to make sure that these statuses are updated from the way we are going to work with this application. So the first status we are looking for is new. All right. So that means when a new visit is created, we want this status to be new. And therefore, what we are going to do is we are going to actually work on the after update event of the patient form, for example. Now, before I do that, whatever we are going to choose as a patient, whatever, whoever, not whatever, whoever is the patient, we will actually provide the visit type. Now, visit type is appointment or walk in. What you can do is, instead of each time user choosing this appointment or walk in, you can set some default. Now, the industry that I work in, or historically speaking, there are walk ins are always greater than appointment. Now, that might not be true. The appointments are also, some places, they're very strict about appointments. So, in any case, you can define or you can decide whatever one of these two can be set as the default. So the idea is user should not be changing every single time. All right, that's the idea. So for me, I'm going to choose walk-in as a default. Now, how do I do that? So we'll go to the design view, and it's very easy, by the way. You click here on this combo box, you go to data, and right now it says no. We'll turn back to yes, so we can have access to this little dialog box, not dialog, yeah, dialog box with the options. And we'll define the default value is walk-in. So we'll click OK. Now hit save, close it. Now if I'll open, you'll see by default it is walk-in. All right. So if it is appointment, you want to keep it as default, great. Go ahead and do that. But I just wanted to show, because this form is going to be a bound form, which means, you have seen my videos previously. I keep some of the forms as unbound, some I keep the bound form. This one we will keep as a bound form, but the other two, which I will show you later on this video, will keep it unbound. There are many reasons. I'll explain you that if you want explanation. But at the end, we want the hybrid approach, and we want to work in a way that the application is useful, application is faster for the user as well. Now, that means these buttons are not required for creating updating record, because this form is bound with the data. Therefore, we actually don't need to create VBA code or record sets to pass on the information to the table and update or create, etc., etc. Therefore, what we are going to do is we are going to think of some logics. See, some of the logics, for example, the statuses, I would like to explain a little bit, so please bear with me. As statuses are very important, and I would like to have a couple of statuses. For example, when a new visit is created, doesn't matter appointment or walk-in, I want the status to be new. Okay. Then when the patient arrives at the clinic, I want the status to be patient arrived. Then when the doctor is assigned, I want the status to be doctor assigned. When the reason for visit is entered or prescription is created, I want the status to be prescription created. Or if you don't want to have too many statuses, you can have like new, in progress, new, patient arrived, in progress, and completed. Maybe you can have these status. So you define based on the requirements, based on the situation, based on the customer requirement, you define those statuses. But I'm going to keep a couple of statuses. Another important factor I'm going to count in, and that is the timestamp. I want to collect the time and date information whenever there is a um, any status change. That I will show you later on in next video. But in this video, let's focus on a couple of things. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, the moment I going to choose a patient, because that's the most important thing to create visit. Any visit, patient is mandatory, right? So we are going to focus on this field or combo box particularly. The moment I choose patient, if the status is empty, we'll straight away go ahead and create the visit. But if there is a patient already, right, if the status is new, that means we want to make sure that we capture that um, um, we capture that in the database, and the application should ask, hey, there's already patient assigned, are you sure you want to change it? So let the user actually confirm, and then the patient should be changed. This is something you can build if you wish to do so. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll show you in the practice. So I'll click on the patient ID combo box. We'll go after update event dot 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 code builder, and we'll come here. We'll say if me dot status equal, okay, if, all right, I shouldn't have deleted, but anyway, if is null, me dot status equals true, then do see, then actually go ahead and create the visit. Okay, me dot status equals, so we'll set as a new visit. All right, and also give a message box to cmd dot beep message box, and the message box should be um, the visit has been created for. You can go fancy with the message box, and you can have patient name, me dot patient id dot column, and I believe column number one has the patient name. Okay, so the visit has been created for, then the patient name. All right, so vb information and comma information. All right, okay. If, and also what I want is, I want this manage visit form to be updated, which means refreshed or requeried, rather, and so it populates that information. So we'll say forms exclamation mark, and we'll give the reference, and the reference is manage visits. So let's copy, no, it will not. All right, manage visits, and we'll say dot requery. So it nicely requery. So we'll put that in here. All right. Okay, great. In that case, through a message, a confirmation box, and ask the user, hey, do you want to really change it? So, to do that, we need to declare a variable. So we'll say dim response as integer, not record set, integer. And we'll come here and we'll say response. So we'll have beep to cmd dot beep, and then we'll have response equals message box, and we'll say you are about to change the patient. Are you sure to proceed? Right? Okay. And then let the user decide. Okay. VB yes, no, plus VB question, and that's it. If response equals VB yes, then all right, else me dot undo and div. Okay. If the response is yes, then go ahead and actually uh, assign that. Okay. We'll copy this and we'll paste in here, and we will say the the patient the patient for this visit has been changed to. Okay, changed to. All right, so it's like giving a response to the user, so they would know in plain english language what exactly is happening with the application. So we'll debug that. All right, I know this is not for this is for something else. So, well, by the way, we'll address this later on. Okay, so that's done. Let's actually go ahead and check it out. How about that? So we'll click create, and generally it's a good idea. Let's say it's a walk-in customer, and we'll say Mr. ABC, and the visit has been created for Mr. ABC, and happy days, right? Um, but no, there is something that we need to address, and that something is that nothing happened, which means no visit ID here, and this form is not actually required. So that's a problematic. Is that a problem? Well, we will see that. Let's go to visits table. There is a visit record, but it's not appearing onto this form. So let's go ahead and do check it out. Visit queue. So let's go to visits queue. Well, this is uh why it's not appearing. Let's check. Wow, look at the font. All right, so this is our query, and why it's not appearing? Maybe because of these relationships. TBL visit patient staff. Oh, okay. So there's no doctor assigned, so that's why it's not appearing. So we'll change the relationship from only include rows where the joint fields from both tables are equal. From that, we will actually choose include all record from the visit, irrespective whether the doctor is assigned or not. So now if I will go to the datasheet view, now we will have a record, and that's completely okay, right? It's up to you if you want to keep doctor mandatory, because think about it, walk-in customer, we don't know which doctor is available, so we can't straight away go ahead and assign a doctor even with the appointment uh, patients, right? So it does make sense. So that's why this information was not appearing here. Now we can see that there is information here. Right. Now, what if we want to go back to the same um, patient record? So we can't do that. The reason is because we can't right now open. So let's go ahead and make that mechanism happen. So we'll click on visit ID field. We'll go to the property sheet. We'll go to the event tab, on click event, dot, 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 code builder. And here we are. And by the way, it's very simple. So do cmd.open form, and the form name is visit form. All right. We can literally copy the above, but hey, it's okay because there is a little bit of change in this because we have to provide where condition. So where visit ID equals ampersand me dot visit ID. And that's about it. Let's close that. Let's go to form view. And now, okay, there's one more thing. We will create this, mechanism where the hand will appear that will give a feedback to the user that it's a hyperlink. Okay, there we go. I will click here. Fantastic. Maybe we can assign a doctor. We can have visit date, let's say 13th, and visit time, let's say 1700. And actually, as I said, because this is a bound form, so we actually don't need to uh, every time update. So we'll close that and we'll say yes. Now you can see that the updates are not immediately presented here. And the reason being is I have not put that mechanism where the updates will be presented immediately. And that means we can do that on close event. So every time form closes, it actually requires that form, main form. Okay, so we'll go ahead here. Basically, we'll copy this and we'll paste in here. So now, anytime this form gets closed, it will actually refresh the information. So you can see that here. Now click close, and there you go. You can see, right? Okay, so that's done. And now what we are going to do next is basically we are going to have two buttons here, one for creating prescription, the other one for creating the treatment plan, and that we can mention here. We can mention also, the patient is feeling unwell. Obviously, that's why the patient has to visit. So we can close it. You can see that this gets updated here as well. Now, let's go back to the visit form. Let's go to the design view. And the reason we need to do that is because I want two buttons right here. Okay. So we'll bring this a little lower. Okay. And we'll go to the form design. We'll fetch the buttons and we'll say, hey, um, create prescription. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let me just change the font from Aptos to Calibri and we'll make it 10. And also I'm going to change the color. Let's make it maybe light green, something like that. Okay. All right. So let's make it bold and we'll go to home and make it full black. All right. Great. We can beautify it if we want, but it's okay as long as it works. That's fine. Create treatment plan, something like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's go to the property sheet. Let's give them a name. So BTN prescription. Okay, I don't know if the spellings are correct or incorrect. BTN treatment. Let's do one more thing. The outline is blue, so let's get rid of that outline. Okay, now let's click here, and when we click here, we basically want to open the prescription form. So let's copy the name of the form so I don't do a mistake in spelling. So go to the event tab, dot dot dot, onboard on click event, and we'll say do cmd dot open form, and we'll give a form name, and also we'll say, hey, no, we'll keep it that because this form is going to be unbound form. So, and then we'll go to the treatment. So where is treatment form? Here we go. Let's copy the treatment form name And now we'll click on the button, dot, 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 code builder, do cmd dot open form, and now we'll give a treatment form name. All right, that's great. Now let's go ahead and check if these are working. Awesome. The treatment form working. Now we'll move to the prescription form, and in here we are going to actually do a bit of work, which means I have to make this unbound. By the way, this is optional. This is not mandatory. You can keep it bound form, and in fact, to be very honest, with the bound form, the work is a lot less, right? But the problem is when this application gets bigger. For example, you created an application, it got bigger. A lot of people wants to use, and until unless the customer whom you are going to give this application to, if they have brilliant network, then sure, you can keep it a bound form, because the speed will not be issue. uh, Even if the multiple users will use this application, it will not cause the slowdown. But if you are going to give to someone who doesn't have a dedicated system, then for sure it is going to be a problem. Anyway, while I was explaining that, I've made this form as the unbound form. Now let's quickly go ahead, and behind these buttons, let's do some VBA coding. So we'll say dim rs as a record set rs equals, and oops, not now, current db dot open record set, parenthesis open, parenthesis close, double quote. I'll make it quick. All right, so we'll copy this table name and we'll paste in here. And then don't forget db open dynaset, because it's required for the SQL. And also don't forget db c changes. Okay, once that is done, we'll open the record set, add new, and we will then rs dot update. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually um, right click on this, and we'll go to design view, and we'll copy these fields. So rsid visit id equals to me dot visit id. Okay, I forgot something, and that is how we will capture the visit id, because this is going to be a unbound form. So visit id, patient id, doctor id, medicine id, sorry, visit id, doctor id, patient id, at least these three needs to be captured, and they needs to be copied from here. Where is that visit form? They need to be copied from visit form, and they need to be populated here. So that means we can actually come here, and we can say me dot visit id equals forms exclamation mark, um, visit form, that's the name of the form, and visit id. Okay, so let's copy these very quickly and paste them here, and then we'll have the patient id, doctor id. Okay, so I'll go here, just copy that. We are patient id equal to form whatever, doctor id. There we go. Okay, now it's fine. So now I'm going to copy these, paste, 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 paste. If you are very first time coming to this and watching, and you're thinking, what is this guy doing? Please watch the previous videos. I've explained this in very much detail. All right, so we want patient ID, we want the doctor ID, all right, we want the medicine ID, okay, and we want the dosage, all right, we want the frequency. See, that's why you keep the same name of your fields, so it becomes easier down the line. Okay, so start date, me dot start date, end date, me dot end date, and notes will come here. I'll come here. There you go. Job done. Now we'll come here. Set, oh sorry, rs dot close. Set rs equals nothing, and then we'll actually give a message box and say, hey, before we do that, we will actually say me dot prescription id equals dmax, and we will fetch that prescription id from the table called tbl prescription. Okay, so we'll fetch it from here, and we will populate it on the prescription id field. All right, so once that is done, we'll give a message box, and we will say do cmd.beep message box prescription has been created. Another thing I would like to do with this is so let's copy VB information, comma information. All right. The other thing I would like to do is I want this list box on the visit form to be required and to populate the information. So let's change the name list prescription. All right. So I want this list box to be required as well. So forms, and the form name is visit form. Okay. And exclamation mark dot require. Simple. All right. I think we are done with this. Now let's debug. Okay, what's that? Oh, okay. Treatment form. We will come back to this in the next video for sure. But because I've copied this form from other forms and therefore these are giving error. Anyway, what do I want to display onto the list box? So let's quickly go ahead and prescription. If I look at the prescription table, prescription, where it is. There we go. I want prescription ID. I definitely want the medicine name. So that would be in the medicine table. So we can get this. And also, I want dosage information. Let's have these three only. Um, so we'll copy that. Three columns. The first one obviously not required. By the way, you can actually have whatever information you want onto this list box. Then we do need the medicine name, so we can keep it as, for example, what's the width? 4.33. So let's have 3.33. Sorry, let's have 3 and then 1.33 for the dosage. And I do want the column heads. Okay, so that's done. We can always come back and we can fix. So let's go ahead and check it out whether this will work or not. Okay, so let's click here and now we'll add. Okay, so perfect. Let's have prescription. Oh, one more thing I forgot. In hurry, I forgot that. And that is to convert this into the combo box. Then only we will get the information about the medicine, right? Well, that's what happens when you are in hurry. And I am in hurry, to be very honest. Data, resource, dot, dot, dot. And we'll get the medicine table, medicine ID, and medicine name. Perfect. Let's close that and we'll go to the format, column count 2, column width 0, column 1. Okay, let's have the similar height 0.3. Okay, and oh, all right, my mistake. Okay, and the column, there we go. Okay, done. Now let's go back and let's create a prescription and medicine ID. There we go. Dosage, let's say, you know, I don't know how the dosage is. Is it a numerical value or is it frequency? Um, let's say I have no idea, to be very honest. I'll just put two and twice a day, something like that. The start date is today, so 12/8/2024, and the end date is, let's say, on 16th. Please take the medicine after the food, something like that. And we'll click create, and prescription has been created. And there you go. We can see it here as well. So you know we are getting closer to what we are looking for, but it's definitely not done yet. We need a lot of work. I need more videos to make on this, and we will finish it once we will leave this visit form once we are satisfied with everything. So there's a lot to come. I hope that you are learning. I hope that you're getting along. I hope you're liking what we are making. Please do let me know in the comments below if there are spelling mistakes. Please avoid that. I'll fix those spelling mistakes. I'm actually in a hurry, so I can't fix them now. Um, if you like whatever you see, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload any video. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.